Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Now in this video we're going to be taking a look at the modding community in Project Zomboid, how it's changed the face of the game forever, and how significant it could be as we get closer to some of those massive changes that we have coming up, like NPCs and deeper crafting mechanics. Oh, and lastly, before I forget, why you should at least try mods for yourself before you eventually put down Project Zomboid. If you find this video entertaining or helpful, or just agree with what I talk about here in this discussion topic, drop the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more Project Zomboid tips, guides, and gameplay. Away from Project Zomboid for a minute though, it's time to introduce today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by World of Warships, the free-to-play game that drops you at the helm of one of more than 400 historical ships from 11 different nations. Play solo or with your friends and team up in a division to take on other teams in a battle of strategy, tactics, and firepower. You can try anything from destroyers and cruisers to battleships and aircraft carriers across stunning landscapes with actively changing weather conditions. If that hasn't tempted you just yet, you can register for an account with the link in the description and use the code Royal Navy to get an exclusive starter pack worth €25 absolutely free. That includes 200 doubloons, 2.5 million credits, 7 days of premium, and a British tier 3 ship. Special thank you to the guys at Wargaming for today's sponsor. Let's get back to the video. So, a bit of context here. I've been doing some more videos recently on mods, whether it's highlighting particular setups or taking a look at some of my favorite mods of recent months. And I've actually been pretty surprised by the amount of people in the comments saying that they've never tried mods on Project Zomboid before. So, today, I'm going to start by touching on why you need to try a modded playthrough or two if you haven't already. And I'm not talking about going crazy here and making a list of mods longer than Big Smoke's food order. Even just trying some quality of life mods can drastically improve your, well, quality of life when playing Project Zomboid. If you haven't used mods before, you might not be aware, for example, that there is a mod called More Builds that allows you to build a ton of items that are not constructible usually with the carpentry skill. Garage doors are the best example of this. If one is destroyed in Project Zomboid without mods, there's no way to rebuild these at all. More Builds not only gives you that option, but adds a bunch more furnishing options for your base as well. Now, I can appreciate that choosing the mods you'd like to use or understanding where to get started is daunting, so if that's what's stopping you, this next part will be good news. I'm leaving a link in the description to a mod pack that I used when I was pretty new to Project Zomboid's modding community, focusing on adding stuff that I'd consider close to vanilla. It's vanilla plus, if you will. It's a pretty small pack as far as mods go, but it's a good starting point and can open your eyes to the possibilities modding has to offer. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this video have already tried mods in the past, and I don't need to tell you how much it can change the way you play, but why has it made such a big impact on Project Zomboid? Well, put simply, it's about replayability. A game of Project Zomboid's depth and detail already offers you hundreds of hours of playtime. We're able to try different bases, different ways of surviving, and different character builds. When we bring modding into the picture, that replayability only increases, and at a drastic rate. Suddenly you have map extensions to the existing parts of Kentucky, new towns to explore, dilapidated cities, even maps that stand by themselves and offer you a completely different experience. Then we've got vehicles, weapons, even things that change the gameplay mechanics themselves, dropping you into a world frozen over like the cryogenic winter mod. All of this is basically to say, if you're getting bored but haven't tried mods yet, oh man, you haven't even started. With the implementation of multiplayer, this has only increased the modding community's drive to create new and exciting things for the Project Zomboid player base to try. Not only that, but it's increased the player base's desire for them too, leading to more commissions for modders, and I don't know about anyone else, but I've definitely seen an uptick in the amount of mods being released since multiplayer came out as a direct correlation. I genuinely believe that modding for Project Zomboid is an integral part of the experience experience and a key factor of the game's survival and continued growth. It's for that reason that I've actually commissioned 4 new mods to be made, some of which are already pretty much done and others that are a work in progress right now. Thanks to all of the support from you guys that are part of my fantastic community watching my videos, I'm able to give a little bit back to the game that I owe a lot of my success to, and hopefully give you guys some mods that you'll enjoy using. I should also mention that these mods will be publicly accessible once they are finished. So, what are those mods about? Well, I'll be doing a more thorough video on this in the future when they're ready for release, possibly some gameplay too, but we're putting together a new setup for our Patreon server starting on September 1st, in the theme of the popular franchise Stalker. Various features in Stalker will be emulated by these mods, like artifact hunting for example. We've also arranged for a custom vendor and trading system to be set up so that artifact hunters can sell off their spoils and buy new gear that isn't available anywhere else. Again, I won't go into too much detail, but I wanted to start something truly unique to Project Zomboid, and something that hasn't been done before, and this seemed like the perfect opportunity to do so. I look forward to sharing more with you guys on this closer to the time. Oh, and just before I move on, a huge thank you to Soulfilcher, Shark, and Chuck, who have been working on these mods for me and have been doing a great job already. So I'll leave some links to their mods in the description for you to check them out. This brings me nicely to my next point for discussion. We've got some pretty big updates in the pipeline for Project Zomboid, and we know that in build 42, we're expecting the very first implementation of NPCs in the form of animals and wildlife that we can both hunt or capture and keep as livestock. Now, in my mind, modding will only become more prolific as these large milestones in Project Zomboid's development are achieved. As of right now, we've not faced any other direct threat in Zomboid other than zombies, right? Well, with the addition of animals around the corner, I can see this changing. Once the modding community gets their hands on the code behind AI in the game, the floodgates are likely to open. Obviously, I'm speculating here, and this shouldn't be taken as fact, but once that code is available to modders, the possibilities are endless. Zombified creatures perhaps, mutants, special infected types, who knows really? Even just more wildlife options that are designed by modders using similar AI to the ones that are in the vanilla version of the game. Once we get to the point of human NPCs, the potential for modding only increases again. Could we see quests, mission givers, and reputation mechanics before the developers even get round to adding it themselves? It depends what parts the developers choose to add and when they do so, but this is just another reason why the modding scene for Project Zomboid is so amazing for the game itself. It serves as inspiration for the developers and sometimes even provides them with new staff members, as we've seen in the past. A great example of this was the in-game map. Formerly, we had no access to an in-game map of any form, but an incredibly popular map mod highlighted the importance of this to the devs, and lo and behold, we got an in-game map feature. This has proved to be very popular for both new players and veterans, and continues to be developed with additional features like marking positions for your teammates, as well as offering new opportunities for modding like the Draw on Map mod that I've mentioned in a recent video. This is partly how a small development team like the Indie Stone can have such an in-depth game on offer. Features birth new mods, which bring additional functionality. My last talking point for today's video is in relation to the future crafting plans we've seen recently announced in development blogs for Project Zomboid. The crafting system, as it is right now, is a heavily debated topic. Some people like it, and others don't, but most of the controversy comes from the UI in my personal experience. We're going to be expecting a huge crafting overhaul that is going to make things a lot more detailed, and if you haven't heard about that just yet, it's best I refer you to another video I did on this, as it's quite a big subject and I could be here for a while explaining that. So yeah, I'll leave a link for that in the description as well. The reason why I mention this in regards to modding though is that we could see a huge amount more mods to come in this particular area once the overhaul is made. More professions, more crafting recipes, different ways for things to interact with one another, maybe even an MMO style crafting system with stats for items. Whether you want this or not, obviously it would be optional because of modding, which is another strength to modding your game in general. You just pick what you want. Anyway, I'll end this video with a closing thought for you, and it's quite a simple one. Think about what kind of mods we have right now, and how far Project Zomboid has come during its development. Now picture where the game could be in a couple of years, and the modding possibilities become even more tantalizing. If you haven't tried mods yet, please give it a go. You're missing out, I promise you. So that's it from me in this one, but if you want to talk mods, as always, the comment section is open for your favorites to recommend to other players. Special thank you to all of my existing patrons for their support. I never thought I'd have over 250 monthly supporters of my content, but here we are. Know that I just appreciate every single one of you, and if you want to join them, there's a link in the description. Thanks folks, and I will see you all in the next one.